On 8th of May 2020, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison announced three-stage process for opening up Australia and its economy. Now obviously it's a great news for everyone, including international students who are studying here in Australia and who are planning to come to Australia for their studies. So in this video, we're going to discuss about all these three stages and how they impact international students. Now before we start talking about the video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends and other family members. And if you're new to this channel, I highly recommend you to subscribe as we make videos for international students in Australia and those who are planning to study in Australia. As I mentioned earlier, Australian government is planning to ease up some restrictions. Now they are planning to ease up these restrictions in three different stages. And it's important to understand that these are just planned stages. An Australian Prime Minister is hoping that these stages can be implemented by July 2020. So we can get back to some bit of normality in our life. Something closer to life before this pandemic hit us. Now again, I have to emphasize on this that these are just planned stages. And there is a possibility that it may not happen as planned. For example, if there is an outbreak of this virus in certain state or territories, it might delay the stage's implementation. And it's also important to understand that each state and territory will apply these stages at their own pace. So for example, if you're living in Victoria, you might see that some restrictions are getting lifted in other states earlier than in Victoria. And that's because of the number of cases because of this virus. Also, for an example, Queensland has already announced that they will be implementing stage 1 from 15th of May and Tasmania is going to do on 18th of May. Now let's talk about each of these stages, what's going to happen and how it might impact international students. So in stage 1, you will see opening up of retail stores, cafes, restaurants, obviously with some restrictions, with up to 10 people at one time. As most of the students do work in hospitality and retail businesses, it's a great news for the students as they might be able to get back the hours that they have lost because of this crisis. So it's definitely a positive news for the students in stage 1 that you will be able to get some of those lost hours back again. Opening up of playgrounds, libraries, schools, and some increasing face-to-face teaching in universities and TAFEs. So clearly there is a chance that some of the students studying in universities and in TAFEs might go back to their normal classroom schedule where they will learn face-to-face rather than online learning. It purely depends on the health advice and your institution as well. If they feel it's not safe to do so, they might still run the classes online. But there is certainly a possibility that some institutions might bring back their face-to-face class deliveries. It's especially good for those students who like to study face-to-face than online. And also in stage 1, you will be allowed to have up to 5 visitors in your house as well. And gathering of up to 10 people outdoors. Also some local and regional travel might be allowed within your state or territory. Now in stage 2, effectively the number of people gathering at certain places will double up. So all those restaurants and cafes can have up to 20 people in their business. Things like gyms, cinemas, galleries, beauty salons and amusement parks will reopen. And some sort of interstate travel might be allowed as well. So if you are planning to travel within one state to the other, you might be allowed to do so in stage number 2. And third stage is the last stage where we are hoping to get back to our normal life or close to what our normal life used to be before this pandemic hit us. Which will basically mean that everyone pretty much will return back to their workplaces. Gathering of up to 100 people will be allowed. Businesses like nightclubs, food courts and saunas will reopen. And all interstate travel will be allowed within Australia. Now, international travel is something that will be considered in stage 3. That's where travel between Australia and New Zealand, travel between Australia and Pacific Island, and international student travel will be considered in stage 3. Now, Australian government is definitely considering allowing international students to travel to Australia as early as July itself. And that's a very important time frame as many universities start their second session in July itself. And many of the universities, colleges and institutions are getting lots of enrollments from international students. So there is a very good possibility that if the things go as per the plan, international students might be allowed to come to Australia and they might be exempt from the travel ban. So all those students who couldn't come before the travel ban and all those students who are planning to commence their studies in July. Hopefully they will be able to travel in July itself, but there are a few things that you need to consider. The first one will be that there will be strict quarantine laws when the students will come for their studies here. At the moment, any international traveler who's coming to Australia must quarantine for 14 days in a hotels, and there's obviously very good chance that you will be tested as well. Also, at the moment, it's not clear who will pay for this quarantine for 14 days. Whether the cost of staying in the hotel for 14 days will be paid by the university, or will be covered by the government, or will it be covered by the student itself. So that's something you need to keep in mind before traveling to Australia. But definitely there will be more information coming on this in the next few weeks as the things get a bit more clearer on which stage will happen when. And in all those 3 stages, few things doesn't change. First one is social distancing, basically staying 1.5 meter apart from other people and making sure that you're following the hygiene standards, which includes washing your hands regularly. Now we know how difficult time it is for international students in Australia, and there are some support packages available for international students. So make sure to check this video out or check this article on our website, which covers very detailed information on what sort of support packages are available from different institutions, universities and government organizations. We'll put the link of all these useful articles in the description, so make sure to check them out. But we hope you find this information useful. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.